Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
For the migration part, I will just see. Let's say if you want to migrate a report or a call field, what you do, just do it, go to relate action when you click. Over here, you will be able to see the migrate option. Currently, we don't have any system connected to it for all or something. All we don't have security to do it. That's why we are not getting the option. Otherwise, when you work for an organization, you will get a migration option over here. All migrate it will be there. When you go to migrate here, it will return transporter 2.2. When you click on it, it will ask us, yes, one question the migrant field how we will configure for us somebody else. How do we get the migrant security person? Only give access. Yes, the security personally does that. When I will give my example only. I was assigned to a client last year in November, but I didn't got the migration access until April. They wanted that in order to do it. First of all, we need a consultant who is experienced. We are all experienced people, but they want that they should be familiar with our data. In November, December, January, February, March, April. It's almost 6 months. After 6 months, they were sure that we are good, we are familiar with the data and all. Was that they gave us the migration access. That too, not to prod, but from sandbox to implementation. Then implementation to another implementation. Then in and sandbox that. It means in turn, not prod tenant, not the prod tenant. If I want to migrate into prod, I need to contact the manager, their manager, and they will be taking care of it. Generally, as a contingent worker means see, you might be directly enrolled as a contingent worker, or you might be directly enrolled as a contingent worker, or let's say you join any company, let's say Exchanger, TCS, or Capgemini. Those are the service based companies. From there also, you will be joining, though you will be joining on behalf of them, but will be ideally called as a contingent worker. In those scenarios also, the issue will be the scenario will be the same. They won't provide the access to directly unless the project is running in a good pace and they have a conversion in advance. Otherwise, you'll see that the security will be delayed on because security is very related to the data privacy and all. They won't generally trust person who is just newly joined with all their important. It takes time for any of the organization to trust. They will go in the class. In general, any job, they will give you low end jobs for initial people. Correct, correct, correct. That is the case. Now we can explore this worksheet, but I think this report has enabled for Prism enabled for Q. Let me check if this report is available or not. First of all, start with the topic of that with the worksheets. I hope this presentation is visible with the presentation. First of all, what is worksheet? Worksheet is a spreadsheet component in Workdata that enables ad hoc data exploration, analysis, visualization, and collaboration with live transactional data. It's a worksheet, it's a spreadsheet. Spreadsheet is the thing which we say Excel. Excel is generally referred to spreadsheet. And basically, a generic word for it is a spreadsheet. Just we refer Xerox. Xerox is not anything. Xerox is the name of the company which makes a photocopy machine. But the real thing which you're doing is photocopying a particular document. Spreadsheets are generic word for that. Branding a Google Sheet, Microsoft Excel worksheet. But the general thing, what is spreadsheet? In that, for Workday users, employee, managers, executives can collaborate with secure live Workday data as external data using the Workday browser application. You can use Workday mobile app to view the workbooks. Workday also has an application, Workday mobile app. But it will be very limited just for view access only. You won't be able to do some modification and it's very in initial stage only. Some of them have implemented it, but it will be basic functionality just to apply the leaves, to give the time off and all. In that also you will be able to see the workbook. In addition to including nearly all well-known spreadsheet functions, such as those in Google Sheet and Microsoft. Worksheet includes many additional worksheet unique function as I told you, all the formulas which are in Google Sheet and Microsoft Excel are very similar in Worksheet as, let's say I want to do a sum of anything. It will be same equals to sum and select the number of columns or cells which I want to do the summation of and we are all done. Worksheet was real-time user experience, presence, information, secure data sharing and engaging visualization. Why they emphasis on real-time thing when you work on worksheet. There's no lag, first of all, and when you import the data from worksheet from any Workday report, you will be able to work on a real-time scenarios. You can mention the refresh rate of that particular report. If you want that report to refresh every second, that will refresh every second. If you don't want to refresh it every second, if you want to refresh on every day or every week, that will work on that way. It's up to you. How do you want to refresh that data? Refresh as in, let's say today connected with the report it has 100 workers and let's say after a week it increased to 110. Do I want to reflect every weekly basis, monthly basis, what it's basically up to my requirement? Got it then. For example, you can create a new workbook and then insert the data from Workday report in the workbook. As I told you, you get first of all try and do your functioning from your end only, and from your end you can enter the data and do the things. But apart from that, you can also insert the workbook. Apart from that, you can share the workbook with your colleagues. They don't have to go outside of the Workday ecosystem and see that files. When you share it, they will get into the notification that you have shared that worksheet workbook with you and they will be able to collaborate with you. Then they are also able to comment on the cell or the entire workbook and tag that for notification as just normal Excel. Also, in normal Excel, you can comment on cell. Let's say if there's an issue with the formula, I can add a comment over it. Let's say if someone hover over the cell, they'll be able to see that particular comment. Or let's say if there's a field with the name of Baghdad, but you don't know what's the meaning of Baghdad, then I add a comment that Baghdad means begin date. You don't have to provide a separate document for it. You get just add a comment to it. Apart from it and collaborate with edit in real-time scenarios. You can edit the access as an edit the workbook on real-time basis. Create a name version to save a snapshot of changes. Let's say if I want to save the changes as of end of the day or as of a particular day, I can save it in that particular snapshot. As after that, I can also download the workbook in different format 6LX, which is a Microsoft format, then PDF format, HTML format. I can download it in that format also. Let's say I want to do any modification. I doubt still here no. Then moving ahead, the security domains for worksheet. To get the security domains, you need these two domains activated for you. Worksheets and manage bot user conversation. Walk. It is generic access to the worksheet and manage one user conversation is basically when you enable this, you will be able to comment on it and you will do back things on it or to do a conversion into it. This new security domains you need to enable it. Apart from it, there is a tenant setup as for it. Generally, it will be done, but it's a good to know that to enable formula, writer and a dysfunction ID, we need to access a task and edit tenant setup system. Let me show you. Over here, edit tenant setup system. I think we won't have access to it. I feel no, we don't have access to perform since I don't have to do this because it's here it is coming. It will refresh it. It won't stay on that because I don't have. Generally, those access are very crucial. It's very something related to security. We won't be doing it. But it's a good to know thing. I tried to show you, but due to security, I won't be able to because this is a tenant setup. It's something related to security as the implementer side. But when you go to it, you saw one page got opened and got refreshed. When you do that particular step, let me show it to you. When you do that particular thing need to go work the conversion setting and enable these particular options and it's nothing much. There is nothing tricky in it. It's just following the steps. If you follow the steps also, you will be able to do it. It's nothing that hard. This particular steps which I mentioned, it's very basic setup. This security part, this is tricky, which I explained to you in the previous session as how to do the configuration as, but this below tenant of the setup, the tenant setup for the worksheet is very easy. When you just follow the steps, I have provided very crisp steps. You don't have to navigate and search for it. If this particular task name also I have highlighted in the boards, you can follow that. First thing first. When you go to this, enable edit current setup system task. Then in that you need to scroll down to a section with the name of Workday Conversation Settings. There is a section with the heading of it. When you go to this particular heading, you need to enable this particular option for Gen AI. It's any is nothing. It's just a AI functionality provided for the worksheets. Autofill correct and all it's just an additional functionality apart. From it you need to go to system setup, file type section. Make sure you include the access file type and all other file type that you want to support in the worksheet. As you referred in the previous slide, we are able to access the worksheet with Workday's data other system as we are able to work on Workday report. We are importing from inside, but for external data, we need to enable certain formats. Already in the system, those things are enabled. In case they are not enabled, you can check with this step. You can go to edit setup system, and then go to system setup section under it, file type as system instruction in that. Here they say we recommend to support this particular file type as CSV, HTML, XLS, XLSM and XLAX. Sometimes certain file types are restricted. Why? Because sometimes what happens? hacker might store some very, you can say, corrupt file in this particular domains. And this might also affect the system because Workday deals with very critical data, personal information of the worker, and if finance is implemented, it will have the financial data as. But in that case, certain the list will be very long when you open it. The list is very long. It will cover almost every data types, but these are the recommendation which you can at least enable in the beginning and in general cases. All of them might be by default be there. I doubt till here and understanding anything. No, no, now this is the next concept. First of all, show you where we will be able to see when going to the center where you will to find the first of all worksheets. When you go to home page, it's important that you have the drive access because you will have the access to discovery boards. That means you will have the access to a drive. When I click on this profile and I will be able to see the drive for discovery board and for worksheet, it will be in the drive only. First step is to have access to drive. Secondly, to have the access of work. What is workbench here? Any related workbench with worksheets or is it totally different? Workbench is a different terminology. I guess I haven't came across workbench. I have heard just a second. Workbench is actually related to SQL. Yes, the primary for here I'm able to see the primary function of work by things to support applications involving large tools. Basically, the ad sponsor I to do is to MySQL and SQL development work. It's completely towards the SQL query database management, but nothing related to it. The concept that workbench is very different and worksheet is different. Worksheet is actually very basic thing. It's Excel but on Workday. And that is the simplest thing which I explained. But that is what, but why I'm explaining you this. You might be also using Excel in your day to day life. I won't be going through those that. How to use Excel because everyone knows that. How to use the Excel, how what are the formulas and the formula is this is very long and we are not able to call it in every formula. But here we will support the what is the thing different thing is that how we can import the Workday reports or how we can use that functionality inside the Workday. Those things we will explore more. Excel is everyone are aware of the Excel and worksheet. Why we are covering worksheet? Because see the main thing common within Prism Discovery Board and worksheet. First of all, I will prioritize which is the most used one. Prism is the most used one, Discovery Board is the second used one, and Worksheet is used, but depending on the company, people have started using it, but they generally prefer to use a Microsoft Excel, being frank, but people are slowly moving towards this, but very less people are there because they have the subscription. Basically, when you join a company, they will give you access to Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is a product of what Microsoft also creates Teams, Outlook, and also Office. Microsoft will consist of Word, PPT, Excel, and all. When they get access to this particular Microsoft Teams, they get a package of Outlook for emails, for documents, PPT, and all this thing they will get free of cost. That's why they don't enable worksheet in this Workday because why to pay? Here and all because they are also getting in Teams. Got it. When I click on Drive, It will show all the data. As I told you in the previous session, Drive is a storage, just Google Drive and iCloud. In that, I will be able to see all my data, all the things which I have created, discovery board sheets, and all here you are able to see. This is the icon of discovery board in the purple. I can also create the discovery volumes, the worksheets. I can also filter it out. Yes, no question, I got it. Yes, yes. Then the filter part here I will be able to be a result on the folder. These are the icons. Basically, these are icons which you need to keep in mind. That's for the identification purpose. Only that it will be easy for you that here the favorite this is if you have marked. Something favorite is a discovery board as we created the document template. Some Word file format, Microsoft Word and the document. Template is exactly the same, almost similar than any media file. Let's say uploaded any video audio that the notification number is there, presentation is Pete and workbook is Excel. Then I can also filter it based out on ownership, my file shared with me. Here also I can do it on that basis. I can also search it from here. To create a new worksheet, I can click on new. And here it will give me all the options which you saw in the filter. I can also upload it from here if I want to. I want it over here, but let's say I want in the workbook. I click on the workbook. I need to give a name. I'll give DV Worksheet Learning. Create, as you can see, now the worksheet will be created and the user interface or UI of this will be very much similar to the Google Sheet. If let's see, let me open a Google Sheet. Google Sheets. If I open this images, see the increment is the user and 1. Question. I'm not sure. Yes, yes. Your question is that implemented from she tried. Sheet that in that information is not available. Actually, they haven't. I provided that information, but it's very similar. You can see all the things are same. I assume it's from them only because the things are available over here, and this is very much similar maybe, but they might have took this and might have done some changes based upon their needs. They might have took the base of it and did some modification. But if I refer to documentation of worksheet, as they haven't mentioned anything in the documentation that they have did in the partnership of Google. As you can see all the things here, the name of the fonts, the font size, bold, italic, underline, and all the things are same as that. This Excel or Google Sheet also, but additional thing which you guys add live data or here sharing option is there or here there's a comment option is there. I can add the comments and let's say I want to add a comment. Over here I can add a comment. This is the user interface here. This thing is very generic over here, insert and all. I will go one by one. First of all, file you need to rename, copy, share, convert to template. Let's say I want to convert this particular to PDF or to HTML format. You remember when we just saw a minute ago the slide which I showed. In this slide, it was showed that we are able to export this worksheet into different formats, HTML, Excel, PDF. This is the option to convert to a tablet. I can merge it with other workbooks. I can rename, copy, print. I can download as C. Where the different options are there. If you see, you remember I mentioned you. To enable this particular .worksif format, it's a parent migration file. What is it when I migrate any Excel sheet from one turn to another? It will save this a workbook in worksif format. If we work for Microsoft Excel, it will save the file in an extension .pdex.xsox. If I see a PDF, it will be an extension of .pdf. If I save a photo, it will be in JPG or JG format. Likewise, Workday in its backend store this into WXF format. If I want to migrate this to another tenant, I need to first of all convert into this one, and then I will be able to migrate it. These are the different options which are available. Is that tab separated? Fab is what that is, just a pipe or basically a space minutes fab. And when you go to note and you will add tab, it will add a space. HTN license and versions. As I told you, we can take the snapshot of it as here. Let's say I want to do a walking and to add a version, that version of October. Then I can name that particular version and save it. I can add different versions. Version is what it's a snapshot of a particular month, a particular day, or that particular working. Let's say in particular version, I created some logic, I created some formula. I can save that. Rather than creating multiple files for the same type of data, I can only create one file and have intact all the different version in that same file. Only got it, that's the reason of versions. Here, and the info is what is the file name and what is the difference for me. I click on this version. Is this version to Workday ID? Server build. There are very generic data. Who is the owner? Time zone, cell count and all. Then in edit option, edit is similar to the other one, copy Workday ID and all. These are very similar to the sheets, whole sheet. Go view views freeze span. If I want to freeze the columns, I can do that. Units I want to give units currency or some kaijis or some units from there. If I want to give full screen because this is very limited, you can see the worksheet panel is very less utilized. I can do it and insert a format. Format is all the formatting options which are available in wrap text. Align border cell color. Fonts and number. The number should be negative or it should be decimal. 1%, whatever it is, then insert and insert. I can insert a pivot table image comment. I can insert a row, columns and everything. I can also insert a function as in data. In data, add live data refresh or live data schedule. Live data refresh, as I told you, I can mention that when I want to refresh a particular data, I can configure it from here. Only today, I'm just giving you a brief about it, what are the things are available, and the next session will cover it, the things in detail as in the things which are different from the Excel. You can also go through that particular option. You can sort it. We can define name, protect range, auto, sum. These are some very forms which are used in Google's Excel. I can filter it on the data, private filter and public filter. You might remember in Excel, I don't know if there's an update for it. But what I remember is when you sell it, when you share an Excel with someone, if they do some modification, that it will also reflect in your system as. But let's say your manager assigned a task 10 people and you are one of them. But the list is very long. There is 100 tasks available and 10 people are there. Let's say each people got 10 tasks. In that case, you want to refresh on your data. All the time you apply a filter on your name, but someone else is also working, they will apply their filter and your data will vanish off in that case. You can apply a private filter which will be only visible to you only. Let's say you apply, the task will be same. Let's say here a task is create, I'll just show you. Create custom report and the task is assigned to. Let's say here task is assigned to Raja, not here. Task is assigned to Raja and here the another people names are there and the list is very long. In that case, what I can do is I can apply a private filter and I want only the tasks which are assigned to Raja only. This I will be able to do it apart from. These are the public and private filters. These are the user guides. Let's say if I'm confused, let's say if I want to work on putting a formula and not able to find it, I can always refer to the user guide to function reference. And function reference are nothing. It just shows what are the functions which are available. It redirects me to the Workday documentation. For date, these are the date conversion function, engineering function, functions, information functions. These are depending on the scenario use. These are not any particular means. If you also search on the Google as Microsoft function, will get an endless list of the functions, but you will use on your needs only engineering functions. The people who have that particular need, only they will be only able to use it. These are the functions we will be using based upon your requirements. I think this is also indicative. The list might be long the workday. The function user guide describe all the function in the worksheet. User, yes, this is the user interface and by clicking on this, you will be able to. This is a formula. You can also write formula here as and also here as this is a formula. Evaluator. I want to calculate any formula. Let's say 1 plus 1 and evaluate. Let's say if it does for you. It shows error. The formula syntax was detected and here I can again. Here it is giving. It too I don't want changes directly over here but rather to do it first before changes. I can do it over here. Only this is the formula editor bar over here. Cover the rest things in the next session. But let me go to a drive again and show it to that once we create it. It will be automatically saved. You will be able to see in the drive, only see baby box. Learning, it's created by me, access is only me and here it is given modified. Date as of the latest date of the system, currently this system is using Pacific time and I guess in a Pacific time it's 7 am. I think because of that it is giving at the same time. Let's say your system is in ES time zone. ES time zone will come. That's a tenant level setup. You don't need to do anything. It's a tenant level setup. But for information and letting, because sometimes what happened is people used to face some issue that I created this thing in Indian evening, but it is showing in some morning time. But that is because your company's parent has been set up according to the US timings or Europe timing. If according to that, I will be able to see the data in that particular time zone. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.